In this video, we're going to talk about some mistakes that almost every brand new real estate investor makes, and we're going to try to help you avoid them.
We talking about freedom?
The first mistake is a balancing act. Most people don't do enough research when they start investing in real estate. There is the other side, the paralysis by analysis side, where people do too much research and never invest. Let's talk about this one right now. You have to do research on your market and research on your specific property. Now, most people don't do it because if they're going all in on real estate or if they're investing in real estate, they believe in it, so they're just gonna go do it. While I love that attitude, you do have to do some research and you do have to know certain things before you invest. I've made this mistake multiple times, but recently I made this mistake with a self-storage facility. So I bought a deal that has self-storage facility on it with some open land next to it. We redid the facility and added a couple buildings, so did a very small development and everything went pretty smoothly. So then I looked at another self-storage facility up the road and the numbers didn't really make sense, but we thought
if we build a building on it like we did before, the numbers will make sense, so let's just buy it.
We did not do enough research. This specific self-storage facility was off the beaten path a little bit. You had to take this huge kind of turnaround to get to it. It's not near as much traffic as the other facility that I bought. Also, we didn't end up building that building because prices went up on building materials substantially and it didn't really make sense. So now we're stuck with this facility that doesn't really cash flow, that's off the beaten path, all because we didn't have the discipline to do the work. We thought, we're self-storage facility experts now, we did a development, it worked out well, so let's do another one. That's not the way to do it. Even if you have initial success at something, you have to analyze and do the research on every single deal. You can't just do it by feels. You have to do it by sticking to the numbers and finding out all the facts before you invest, not just do it by, hey, I think this will work. That's not a way to do it. Skipping steps can lead to mistakes and loss of money. Not every time, but eventually if you skip steps and get in that habit, you will lose money. The second mistake new investors make is they don't have a plan. They hear some joker online talking about how much money they've made in real estate, so they just jump all in and decide to do it, but they don't have a plan or a goal in mind when they get investing. There's a couple issues with that. The main one and the first one is they're not going to actually do it. If they just look at it as something they want to do and they don't take it seriously and they don't have goals set out, they don't have a plan, they're much less likely to actually get started. So it's kind of one of those things where it sounds cool to do and it's fun to talk about, so maybe we'll do it. However, if you set plans and set goals, you will have something to shoot for. Now, you may blow those goals out of the water, you may fall short of those goals. Either way, it's nice to at least have those goals and at least have some North Star to shoot for. You need to have a clear plan for your business and you need to have a clear plan for each specific project. Now, setting these goals and putting them out in the future for your business is super important. My initial goal was to buy one rental property a year for 10 years. Now I bought about 275 of them, so obviously we blew that goal out of the water, but at least having that goal seemed monumental at that time, and that was a monumental goal at that time. I'd never bought real estate before and I wanted to buy one a year. So just having that goal and have something to shoot for was huge for me because I saw a goal, I'm a competitive person, I put it out there, I talked about people, and I wanted to accomplish that goal. So telling other people about my goal and having a goal was huge. Now again, we adjust those goals as we grow. We've had some goals that we've blown out of the water, some goals that we've fallen short on, but having those goals and having a target to shoot for makes all the difference. The third mistake you will make, because we make it on almost every single project that we do, and that is underestimating rehab cost. Nobody knows for sure. Unfortunately, figuring out rehab costs is a little bit of a science, it's a little bit of an art, and it's a little bit of kind of closing your eyes and figuring out where things land. You don't know exactly what things are going to cost because you don't know how long projects are going to take. You don't know exactly what bids you're going to get on things. You don't know exactly what money's going to cost that you're going to borrow. You don't know how long you're going to be doing a project. And you don't know what's behind walls or underneath floors until you really dig into it. So figuring out how much rehab is going to cost is hard. We do about 60 rehabs a year and we still usually end up going a little bit over budget. Now, we are professionals in this space and we do look at all the numbers and we're getting better. I would say on average, we're within 5% of our rehab budget. Sometimes we come in under, but most of the time slightly over. Now, as a brand new real estate investor, you probably don't know what things cost. So there's a few things that you can do now to help avoid this mistake. Number one, make sure you get 3 bids on every single thing you do. Even if you have somebody that you kind of know, or maybe your buddy's buddy that owns a business that puts in floors and you're gonna go with them, that's fine, you can go with them, but get other bids just to keep them in check. If your contractors know that you're getting multiple bids, they will probably sharpen their pencil a little bit. And that doesn't mean that they will not do as good a job or good work. They still want the reputation, they want the future work, so they're still gonna do a good job, but make them sharpen their pencil and make them know that you're getting multiple bids. Another thing is not letting emotion get involved and thinking too big. You're not on HGTV, unfortunately, I apologize for that. So there's not a TV camera and a crew following you around. You don't need to make this ginormous Taj Mahal type property that you're gonna sell for 300 grand. You need to not let emotion get involved and do the right rehab for that area. You can find out what type of finishes to have and how far to go on the rehab simply by looking at other properties for sale in your area that are comparable price to what yours is going to be. Now, what we like to do is we like to make our house a little bit nicer, our rehab a little bit nicer than the competition. There's no point in spending an extra 20 grand when you're not gonna get that back. But there is validity in spending a couple extra grand to make your house a little bit nicer than the competition. Lastly, for this mistake, add in fluff. I would encourage you to add at least 10%, probably 20% fluff on your budget. Meaning, if you have a $50,000 rehab, I would add a minimum of 10%, so $5,000 on top of that, potentially up to 20% or $10,000 on top of that. Add fluff because things are gonna go over budget. And when you're making your budget, make sure to include all your costs, including your holding costs, your costs you're paying your lender that you're borrowing money from, your cost to pay utilities on the property that you own, your cost to pay taxes during the time that you own the property. So make sure you have all your costs accrued for and then add at least 10%. That will really help. And if you come in below budget, that's okay. You're just gonna make more profit. The fourth mistake is thinking you can do everything on your own. I'm not just talking about the rehab. I would not suggest you doing the entire rehab yourself. If you can do the rehab on your own, more power to you. It's probably gonna take you 2 or 3 times as long as hiring it out. You need to have a team behind you. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean you have to have employees, but having trusted contractors or people that can help you out along the way. Most people aren't super handy, so they're not gonna try to do everything themselves, so that point may be moot to them. But having a team that you can trust and leaning on other people is huge. So many people are stubborn and vain. They're not gonna pay for a mentorship. They're gonna do it on their own, and then they're gonna make mistakes and not either make as much money as they could or potentially lose money. It's okay to pay to get other people's help. It's okay to pay somebody to paint the house even though you can paint the house. It's just gonna help things go quicker and faster and more efficiently, and you're gonna be able to do more deals and you're gonna get in and out quickly. Right now is not the time to do a 10 to 12 month rehab. Right now is the time to get in and out quickly, and if hiring it out and having a little more cost of the deal allows you to get in and out quickly, do that. Because the market does not shift overnight, but it can shift over several months. So the quicker you get in and out, the better you'll be. Lean on a team, whether that be a partner, whether that be employees, or just having a group of contractors that you know and trust that you work with and push. The fifth mistake is a mistake that our general society has, or something that our general society is not good at, and that is delayed gratification. You need to have patience. Don't buy a property just because it looks really cool and you think it'll work, but the numbers don't line out, and assume everything's gonna go perfect. Don't rush into something because the numbers don't work because you haven't got a deal yet. You just wanna get your first one underneath your belt. No, you need to be patient and you need to be okay with delaying gratification. I recently saw an Alex Hormozi video, and he said the biggest reason for his success and the biggest reason for success of people he knows is they have the discipline to delay gratification. The longer you're okay with not getting that gratification, the better off you're gonna be. I have $42 million worth of rental properties, and I have still yet to take a dime of profit from the cash flow off of those properties. Now, it's not as much cash flow as you would think. I do have a video up here that goes through how much cash flow I get from those rental properties. I'm okay with leaving that money in that company to allow that company to grow. The minute you start to take profit out of companies or get that immediate gratification is the minute you're gonna slow down your growth. So just be patient, don't rush into the wrong deal. It's never a bad time to buy a good deal. So the market's shifting now and changing and softening and doing all these things. There's still a lot of good deals out there. So either work harder to find that deal or just have the patience until that deal comes across your desk. This is a big one. And a great way to kind of taper those expectations are having proper expectations. Have the expectation that this may take several months. Have the expectation that you're gonna look at 20 or 30 deals before you actually get your first deal. That's normal, that's okay. I don't know one failed real estate investor. The only real estate investors that have failed I know are the ones that have given up. If you continue to push through, if you continue to be persistent and consistent, you will eventually get a deal. I love that saying, persistence beats resistance. So just continue to push through, even if you've been looking for 6 months and haven't found a deal. Don't give up. you're just 6 months closer to getting a deal than you were, you will eventually get that deal. And there you have it. Those are the top 5 mistakes that most brand new real estate investors make. You'll probably make a few of them, but hopefully this video helped you avoid at least a couple of them. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that like button if you have not, and I will see you on the next video.